Hey, meaningful movers. Welcome back to Move With Me in the podcast, where actions have meaning, words have meaning, and we open up the conversations to discover what's your next move. I'm your host, Krystal. In today's episode, we are going to hear about defense by design. You know, how we prepare ourselves so no one would ever catch us slipping. But y'all know how it is and what we do. We need to set that theme, so let's go ahead and do that. The word of the day is aggression. We have heard all of the negative associations to aggression. Those are not wrong either, but I tend to associate this with passion, confidence, and boldness. There is a catalyst that shifted our change in attitude and behavior, which influenced this need and desire to be ready, prepared. That's enough of me talking. How about we introduce our guest? And there's no one better to do that than himself. Mitch, why don't you give the people a bit of background about yourself and what you're going to share with us today?
6 feet, formerly handsome, doing my best at my current state. I've been a professional speaker for more than 3 decades, have spoken on stages in 63 countries, produced 2,000 live events worldwide, and have found what it takes in order to stand out in a crowd, regardless of culture, geography, language, and/or bias.
Okay.
Because of my background as a home shopping network pitchman, I did that for about 3 years, contract basis. When people needed their products pitched, I would come and do that. I run my own show here, host my own show in Las Vegas on NBC, and I know what it takes for someone to be the shiny object amongst the dull ones.
Look at that. We got our own celebrity showing up here. Pretty cool. Thank you so much. I love your story. I think you were in a tennis environment and you moved from a very low aggressive sport to a higher aggressive sport. Tell me about that.
Oh, yeah, I'll tell you about that. I was in a table tennis. Good memory. Table tennis, close. Table tennis, aka ping pong. I was on a team, and what happened was I got into a fight and couldn't defend myself. I had no know-how, and I got my butt kicked. And I didn't like the feeling. I mean, I thought I was tough, and I found out how quickly I wasn't. I used my face as a defense mechanism for a fist. And it didn't work out well, Krystal. So I switched to martial arts and never looked back. And I got into it because of self-defense. But what the real result from my switching sports was, it wasn't a self-defense system for me. It was a sport. It was a discipline, great fitness, and I loved it. And I didn't have to fight, because when you have a black belt tied around your waist that you've earned through broken fingers, broken noses, bruises, and soreness, I believe one carries a different air. And I think even in the animal kingdom, a wounded animal, a weak animal falls prey pretty quickly. But one that stands upright and has teeth to bear doesn't get approached unless it's an apex predator. But if I see myself as an apex predator, I'm not going to be approached except by another apex predator. I've never used that metaphor before, but it works kind of, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I was a lamb, and now I'm a coyote. I would say it's because of that mindset shift. I don't feel like I can be taken down. And that has spilled over into my professional life. I don't bully easily. It goes back to that 10-year-old kid getting his butt kicked.
It's so interesting because I love how you said the low aggression of that sport. Just from that one experience, you really honed in on looking at this from a perspective of, I need to defend myself.
Yes.
I mean, you really took it to the next level, to the point where you gave up table tennis, right?
Well, pain causes change.
Yeah.
And I was in enough pain. I didn't look at the pleasure of table tennis, which I was good at and I enjoyed. It was a great game and there's no aggression. Yet I then jumped into something which did require contact. It did require pain, but the payoff was confidence, discipline, and the ability to defend myself. And then I found a sport which I was even better at. Table tennis, I was good. And I would say I was good plus at martial arts because I really enjoyed it and the sport aspect of it.
So how did this spill over into your professional life?
Oh, I believe in many ways. I have to attribute my first Taekwondo master. His name was Jun Chong. Must give him credit where credit's due. I showed up late to class once. simply because the bus I was taking at 14 to the dojang, is what it's called in Korean, was delayed. It had broken down, so I had to wait for the next bus, which came 20 minutes later. So I showed up to class late, no fault of my own. And he said, Mitchie, no disrespect, Master Chong, and stand horse stance. So that means you're standing in ready position. And he kicked me in the stomach and I knocked the wind out of me. I mean, I nearly cried. And I thought, man, it was the man that I respected. He was kind of like the Korean father I never had. Like I said, pain causes change, but that association of pain to not being late again stuck with me. And I associated being late to disrespect. So I show up out of self-respect on time whenever I have appointments. And I expect it from other people, because if they don't, I see Master Chong in my head and I associate back to that experience of him kicking me in the gut. It was so true to learn from that experience. So I think that was one aspect. The other was rituals, setting a ritual of working out every day, doing something every day, because after a while you get good. Because what happens typically when someone starts in the martial arts, and this also matters in all other types of disciplines, is when can I use this in a fight? Guys always ask this. When am I going to be competent enough to where I don't have to think, oh, I should block that? It comes to you naturally. It took a good year, at least, of sparring, getting good, getting punched, kicking back, knowing about this, to where, oh, now this is starting to fall into place. This is starting to make sense. It's good. It's no different than someone who plays golf, and after a year, the difference between playing golf in the beginning versus after a year is, pardon the pun, yards apart. Miles apart. It holds true with any sport, any discipline, any actions that you take. If you are a public speaker, the first time you speak, you're probably not going to be very good. The first time you conduct a podcast as a guest, you may not be as good as you are after you've done 50 of them. Same holds true for a host. I mean, you've been a host now. How was your first one versus today?
Oh, God.
I think you've learned a lot. Oh, God is right. That's usually the reaction. Oh, God, or wow. Oh, you have no idea. Oh, yeah, it's all through the power of repetition, frequency, and honing your results and being teachable.
Absolutely. I'm a huge fan of respecting people's time. Huge fan of that, because for other people, or for me in general, time is money.
Of course. For anyone. It should be.
Yeah, absolutely. When I give someone my time, it's time away from me. It's time away from my kids. And so I'm very appreciative of being as efficient and optimal when I'm spending any kind of time with anyone. And look, the whole muscle memory, you made a great analogy, but I seriously was thinking about this when I was taking martial arts. And then while I was watching my kids do it, I was thinking, I'm like, how would they do this? Because I would be thinking the same thing. Like, when should I block? I thought about it and I was like, well, if you do something so often, so many times, it becomes habit.
It comes to you organically. There's power in repetition. There's power in minor tweaks, because little hinges swing big doors. Small tweaks constantly lead to improvement. If you're willing to learn, if you're open to learning, that's what matters. Some people can repeat, let's say, mistakes and do it over and over again until they run their head in the wall, and then they crack it open and it might be too late to live.
So here's the thing, and you made something really notable in your explanation, was the absentee of a father. Tell me a little bit about that, because there's being absent, and this goes for both fathers and mothers in general, but I'm a present mother, okay? But I wasn't always. Here's the difference between there's being absent physically and then being absent mentally. My early stages, I was really driven, career driven. I remember telling my child, I was trying to justify to them while I was gone, because I traveled a lot for work. They were like, you're never here. Why do you have to keep doing this? And I said, well, don't you like all this stuff? And they said, yeah. This was my daughter. She's like, yeah. And I said, well, that's why I do this. It hurts me to be away from you, but I'm doing it for you. Right. And she asked me a simple question. She said, so what if we didn't have the house? I said, well, that doesn't matter. She's like, no, the house doesn't matter. You do. I'd rather you be here. I can give all this up. So I knew kids saw things completely differently. Like my view of being present was completely flawed.
Got it.
So tell me a little bit about your father being absent and how this kind of played in different areas of you. So the one was the attack, and then there was another time when it was a positive interaction.
Yeah, and I shared that my father showed up to my high school graduation. He left when I was 1 through divorce. Mm-hmm. My mother divorced him. He was not a nice man. You can fill in those blanks. He wasn't very nice to her. And he showed up to my high school graduation, couldn't look me in the eye. I had no respect for him. I never did. There wasn't much to him. However, one thing he said to me when I was 21, something like that, I don't remember the exact age, but then made the statement to me, and it was a negative motivation. He was attempting to give advice in a backhanded way, where he said, "You don't seem to be very good with people, lacking in personality. You should probably work in a freezer."
What?
I worked in a supermarket chain called Ralph's, and I was the frozen foods clerk. Well, I was the only person, so I don't know. I couldn't be considered the manager. I was the clerk that stocked the ice cream and frozen foods. And he said that to me, and I didn't say anything because I didn't respect him. I just remember him saying that. Fast forward years later, I don't work in a frozen foods freezer. I did that job for a little while I was going through college, got myself through it. And what's interesting is his advice, I don't know if it was a negative motivator of telling me I didn't have much of a personality, whereas most people say, I do have a nice personality, I'm quite funny, and I'm a public speaker. So that's the antithesis of working in a freezer, because I'm not good with people and I'm not a good communicator. All of these negative assignments he gave me to my character were inaccurate. Mm-hmm. And I look at that as, wow, I've probably made more money in one of my best years than he did most of his life, because I am a speaker and a successful one. And I have traveled quite extensively, and he never had reached my level of success. And it's not just financial. I've tried different careers. I've failed a lot, and I have experimented with it where he was in a low risk position most of his life and didn't aspire for more. It was more about survival versus thriving. And I have chosen to risk and thrive.
Wow. It's like the one lesson that you got from him. And it's always through backhanded comment. My mom used to call it the cow that gives you milk and then kicks it over.
Exactly. That's what he did. He was trying to give me his advice as a father, but I looked at him as a dum-dum. Anyway, I didn't have a lot of respect for him as a person. He wasn't successful. He had been married 6 times. I think my mom was wife number 2. He was not a figure that I aspired to be. Not on any level. There's nothing about him that I found admirable or respectable. Yeah. And growing up without a father, I guess I didn't miss much. But I felt like I missed a lot in my youth because of Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts and sports, which I was pretty good at, different sports, and he wasn't there for that. Yeah. Simply didn't know about me.
I'm not going to go there. There's a huge responsibility with parents, whether you want to be one or not. You got to take that forward, right? Because I think with your example that you gave is it allows resentment to come into play. Sure. It allows predators to take advantage. And then it just shifts. It shifts your mindset. And I think I truly appreciate about everything that you're saying is you didn't succumb to any of those things.
No.
You were able to look at that and literally go back and say, I'm going to beat all of this. I'm going to show all of you. Now you're in the space where you're public speaking.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about branding, how to build and maintain like a strong personal brand as a speaker.
A couple things are critical. Number one, you got to practice. You got to be really good. And it goes way beyond, if you want to learn just to become a competent communicator, I think there are organizations like Agora Speakers or Toastmasters that can help bring you there to overcome the ums, the you knows, like, and right. And you know what I mean?
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's the other one. Sounds like you could stand it. No, I don't know what you mean. You're telling me. All of those verbal tics and faux pas, as they're called, that's step one. Overcome that. Be professional. Sound like it. Number one. Number two, write a book. If you want to be a professional as a speaker using that? Or is it, you're talking about personal brand in general, or for speakers, for authors, for coaches, consultants, or small business owners?
I know folks who have great stories, all the good stuff. The moment you say write a book, they cringe, to use my daughter's word.
Well, there's an easier, softer, or easier, faster way to do that today than in the past. You made me cringe for years until I finally put pen to paper, and it took me 2 years to get published. But I was published by John Wiley & Sons eventually after I'd written a short book. And today you can get a book done in a weekend, literally. All of it done very quickly. And part of it is through AI, part of it. But there are other steps that need to be included. You still have to have the human element to it, in my opinion. There are people that'll just copy paste what ChatGPT spits out. I think that's sloppy authorship. So I like to take it to another level. I do teach people how to write books in courses where they're in for 6 weeks. We'll deliver it over one day a week over time, and it's done soup to nuts, but it's done properly. It's not slapped together. So I think writing a book credentializes anybody in the business world. The old adage, everybody's got a book inside them, may or may not be true. But if you are an achiever in life and you've got a story to tell that's compelling and hooks people in, write a book. Nonfiction is easier. Fiction, that's a whole nother animal that I don't know anything about. I like reading fiction on occasion, but I can't advise people how to write it. Nonfiction, I certainly do know a lot about it, and it's easier now than ever. So I think in order for personal brand, if you truly want to excel, even as a business owner, to have it as a fancy business card is a good idea. Also, to be covered in the media. Now, one opportunity is a burgeoning class of podcasters like yourself, many others that are in your niche, and they're all niched right now. And I think there are even going to be more and more niches created for people to showcase their skill sets, showcase their knowledge, to be quizzed about their knowledge, to engage in back and forth communication and dig deeper. So podcasting is great. Radio shows are great. Print publications, both online and offline, are great. Getting on live cast shows, e.g. a YouTube live cast is a great way to go, if possible. Being on webinars and or panels of summits. That's another way to boost your brand, and it can be brand association to big name people. They might have a headliner, much like you do in Las Vegas at a show. You might piggyback on the headliner. If Sir Richard Branson were speaking on a live event, it would be great to have your picture next to him saying, I shared the stage with Sir Richard Branson, or people of that nature. And then the other is radio shows, either recorded or live, and television, network television. I'm not talking about your cable channel. I'm talking about network television, NBC, ABC, CBS, the CW, Fox, CNN. Those are real, very well branded. When you say personal brand, they are well branded. So you're piggybacking or leveraging being interviewed on those platforms, and you can repurpose that content inside your social media postings, taking clips from it, running it through AI softwares that will pull out and identify the best and most likely to go viral elements of your long form commercial or interview. So those are a few of my opinions, and I certainly love print publications today. They garner a lot of credibility. If you're in Forbes, wonderful. If you're an entrepreneur, wonderful. Embrace it.
I like that. You know what? I was just going to go into social media because I can tell that it is playing a huge role in not only branding, but networking, collaborations. That is something for me I was scared to do. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was just, I don't know if I look good right now, or I don't know if what I'm saying is going to resonate. You almost double check yourself, triple check yourself on doing something. But once I did it and got through it, it was so worth it. It's so contagious. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Look at there. I said, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, yeah. Speaking to a TV show host, right? Tell me about that experience. Tell me about all that.
It's great. Most of the people I interview see themselves there before they apply to be a guest. They already imagine they belong, because if you perceive, you can conceive it. If you can, and then it can turn into a reality. Dream it, conceive it, act on it. Make it happen for yourself. Because if you are of the mindset, oh, that's great for other people, or I can't see myself doing it, you won't.
Yeah.
Wayne Gretzky said, you'll miss 100% of the shots you've never taken. Swing that hockey puck, swing that bat, take that extra step, pick up the phone, send that email out, do what's necessary. And what big name people do and have done, the model and the roadmap is right there. Follow it, adhere to it, set aside the time to do it. We connected, case in point, minor example. No, it's a major example. I took the time to create my one sheet, which identifies my balance sheet of a brand, of my personal brand. It was forwarded to you, and you had the opportunity to say yes or no to me being a guest on your show. Yes or no, is he going to be a guest on my show? Oh, that rhymed. So you said yes, and here I am. You could have said no. Had I not been packaged properly with the appropriate credentials, you might not have booked me. You'd have said, go get some more experience, or what. You would have handled it nicely. You're a kind person. But here we are. We had our pre-call. We're doing this call. And now we've created a connection. We're both doers. Hang out with doers. People that take action. It's fine to watch Netflix, but after you've done all your work, you can scratch sitting on the couch anytime. Get the work done. Take the extra necessary steps in order to realize your success and your opportunities, your potential.
I like that. Are you alluding to a media kit just then?
Media kit? Yes.
Yes. What all is included in a media kit?
Clean headshot, all your social media links, takeaways, which a host will need to see. Make her job easy. Provide the questions you know her audience will want to ask. Do your research. Who are your listeners? Who are your viewers? Cater your content, your discussion points accordingly. And any lead magnet or takeaways for the attendees or audience members. And testimonials if you've got them. I include them on my one sheet.
That's actually pretty cool. The testimonials is what I'm trying to reach for, putting that out there, because it's almost like the same thing with reviews, book reviews, product reviews.
It's the same thing.
Same
category. It's third-party endorsement.
That's what I love that. Well, Mitch, it has been a joy and a pleasure to have you on here, and I hope some of these great tips that you were giving us just on branding, speaking, and the confidence that you built over time, even the challenges that you had growing up, and how that really spurred you into where you are today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Let me ask you, you have any golden nuggets you want to add that ketchup just to recap?
When you think you want something, plan it, execute, measure your results, tweak it, improve, do it better the second time.
Hey, repetition. You did say that.
Repetition, and you have to do it in order to evaluate and repeat it.
Yeah, agree 100%. That's the episode today. How do you build your brand? What battle did you survive? Did you use that experience to reshape your future? Manifestation is a powerful tool. What do you see in your future? That's why I appreciate Mitch for sharing his life experiences and how he fought for himself. Indeed, with an aggressive spirit. I say, what better way to give back to yourself in so many ways that you become a beacon for others? I love it all, and so will someone else. Before I let you go, Mitch, why don't you go ahead and remind the people who you are and where they can find your resources or reach out to you?
Mitch Carson is my name. You can reach out to me at getinterviewedguaranteed.com/meet with Mitch. And you can set up an appointment if you're interested in getting into the media in Las Vegas. That's what I do, my day job. I am a publicist for people who see themselves and want to be on TV. If that's something you want, I can assist you, and we'll find out whether or not we can work together during that interview.
Fantastic. I'll make sure to include all of Mitch's resources and connections in the episode description, as well as on my website's resources page, movingwithmeaning.com. Make sure you guys subscribe to the show, Moving With Meaning, the podcast, and tap that alert bell so you know when these episodes drop. I'm on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and YouTube Music. Please share, like, repost, and follow. Tag someone. We are creating a community. Quick housekeeping before you go. Follow me on Instagram at movingwithmeaning82 and on Pinterest at Arthur KB Clark. Also connect with me on LinkedIn. I do dabble in TikTok at Krystal B. Clark. My Etsy store has some handy digital downloads. Lastly, run over to my YouTube channel and have a look or two. Links are in the episode. Alrighty. I'm Krystal on Moving with Meaning, the podcast, reminding you to take it one step at a time. All moves have meaning. Check y'all later.